Yeah, I was thinking about the better days. My youth so happy, my hair so nappy, had an afro.
What is good, guys? Welcome to Nightcap, man. This is something that I'm looking to do every week just to step up the content on the channel because we need to talk about Arsenal. But most importantly, on this one, we're just going to discuss the Man United game. And for me, guys, I kind of summed up everything I needed to sum up at the end of the game yesterday when we did the live stream. But I just want to come back and really take a look at what was going on both sides of the actual game. And you can see picture up here. We've got both of the managers, and managers have obviously given their thoughts. Managers are saying, Amaran is saying, I think the most important thing is that we are not boring. I think we clearly deserved a different result, and I'm proud for the game that they played, but we lost. On Arteta's side, it says, we know that we are much better than certain moments we played. We have to be humble about how we score the goal, but games are won in both boxes. And I like that, because then he's talking about the defense that he's built, the advantage of that for Arsenal and what it's given them. A strong defense is not going to get you through games like this. It's just not. That's the reality of the game that we're actually playing right now. He's built that defense. He's built that defense for a reason. And that's because when you go away from home and you get into games like this, you need to keep a clean sheet. And then if you nick a goal, set piece FC, then it's job done. And that's exactly what he's done. So there's no luck aspect about it. It's all designed. It's all planned and set up that way. And when it happens, congratulations, well done. A lot of people saying they were lucky. I mean, we're going to talk about that. But for me, guys, look at the reverse fixture last year at the Emirates Stadium when we had 29 shots and only scored 1 goal. It was just a calamity of missed chances, and just not us having any clinical elite play up front just cost us the game. It ended up 1-1. We should have walked the game. Honestly, should have scored 3 or 4 goals, but we just made it hard. In this game, it's a reverse. When games happen like this, guys, and the scores like this, you've got to take it with the rough and the smooth. You really have to. There's no two ways about it. When things aren't going well and you're playing well, that's kind of where you are in the pecking. Again, like this, don't shunt it off, guys. Just take it. Don't shunt it off. Just take it. As for the game itself, looking at Man United, I think he's done really well shutting Arsenal's midfield down. I think he's centered his game around Odegaard and Zubimendi. He's tried overloads there. He's tried to make it busy in the middle of the park. We saw a lot of teams really get gamey against us by putting 5 in the middle of the park, trying to overload Thomas Partey. Most of the time it didn't work. And sometimes when it did work, Arteta had a plan, and that was for him to either put Ben White or Miles Lewis-Skelly into that double pivot, or drop Kai Havertz back or Declan Rice into that double pivot to sort of control that midfield. So it's something that the manager has been able to deal with very well. But from United's standpoint, it's difficult to accept where they were, because I actually thought that they were the better team on the day. But you've got to make all those changes, tactically done well, spent 200 million on strikers, and then you go in there with a pony goalkeeper. You know, in this game, you get what you pay for. Yeah, if you pay for dross, you get dross. If you pay for quality, you get quality. And we saw Kuna, the quality that he had yesterday, and Bremo, loved what those two players did. They were busy, really, really liked the development of where they're going. Once they get rolling, guys, and the goals start going in, they're going to be a very good team. But it's just what is going on in the midfield and what is going on with their goalkeeper. That is what United are going to have to live and die on. And quite frankly, because, I mean, there's still time for them to go out and get a goalkeeper. Martinez, the PSG goalkeeper as well, although by all accounts it looked like he might be going City. But there's still time for you to go and fix that problem. So yeah, I mean, let me shout out to a couple of you lot. Shout out to 18 saying, "Is Arsenal nightcap a regular thing?" Yes, it's a regular thing. So you'll be able to talk to me after the game, and we'll be able to discuss in great detail what actually happened and kind of review the events. Cam saying, two giants of English football spar against each other once upon a time. This is Vieira Keane. Yeah, it is. I mean, and this is the only thing that's kind of bad about it is that they're not up there to compete. We are. So big up to King G as well. Says good evening, Apollo. Good evening to you, bro. Nightcap time. I should have my hot chocolate in it. I should have my hot chocolate right here so I could just sip it as I go along. Maybe I might do that next time. And also for United as well. Obviously, the error with their young goalkeeper, which gave Arsenal the win. But I'm not going to call it an error. If you actually go back and analyze it, and I have many times, and watch what Saliba does. Saliba does just enough to nudge before the ball comes into the box, and then kind of move away, and then the goalkeeper, who really wants to hit it with his right hand, is left with this hitting it with his left hand, and he gets nothing on it. But referee could have said foul, but Saliba's done his due diligence. He's been smart about it because he's ruffled away around the side, which Mason Mount should have done a better job of blocking him. Let's be fair. I mean, Amarin, first of all, you shouldn't put a Mason Mount against the Saliba. That's not what you want. You want a physical guy going against Saliba. He's big, he's strong, he's 6'4". Mason Mount ain't gonna do a job blocking him there. So I don't know why that happens. The manager's got to think about that. But normally you would have someone as big as Saliba to stop him from curbing that goalie. Because if the goalie does get his right hand on it, he's punching that away. He's punching that away. But he's just nudged enough to put him off balance where he's got to swap his hand to use his left hand. And obviously that doesn't go well. But for United, as I said, they look much improved to me. They look more of a threat in the game. They had 20 shots in a game against us. That's the most that they've ever had in like 14 years. I think the last time they had that amount of shots, they scored 8 goals against us, and that was 2011. And so when you look at it in terms of their performance, I think United fans would leave there being very happy in terms of where the development might go. I think for them now, Amarin's lost 15 times in 28 games. Garfield, shout out to you. Garfield's in the chat. He's saying it's a development thing, so there's no such thing as they're going to be sacking him or anything like that. Garfield said there was a foul on another player running to the box. Yeah. Shout out to you, Michael. Big up to you as well. Said they took the positive, we took the points. Yeah. That's pretty much how it summed up. And he's saying, "Stop making up noise." No, I've said United were the better team on the day. They were. You can't argue with that. But I think from their side as well, you spend 200 million on the strike force, and then they don't score in the first game, so that's a bit frustrating as well. But they are a work in progress, and I like their 2 signings in Kuna and Bremo. I thought they looked sharp. As for Arsenal, though, guys. Let me move this here because I should be moving this down as we go ahead. As for Arsenal, I think for them, they kind of are in a situation where it's not such as a work in progress, but they've got to sort out their midfield. And there's a lot of things, and credit to Man United again, there's a lot of things that they were doing in the midfield that really sort of did help them deal with Zumbamendi, Rice, and Odegaard to a point. David Raya made a string of excellent saves to deny the Man United, but I didn't think many of those saves was like classical saves that you could say, save of the season. I thought a lot of those were routine and straight at the goalkeeper. I didn't think there was any fantastic saves in that game. United also did hit the post, and they could have claimed the penalty as well for Saliba on Kuna. That could have gone either way. So I think for me, it's really for them to sort out what they need to in that midfield. As for, let me move this. For some reason, this isn't moving. Right, hold on, guys. Let's go to here. I think for Gyökeres, that he didn't play well, and I think he was lacking in sharpness. He'd only been back in full training for a couple of weeks. It was touch and go whether Havertz was going to start actually, but I think with 2 weeks of training, it was enough to sort of at least give him the start. So it will take time for him to get up to the player fitness. I don't think he's 100% fit, which is why he only lasted an hour. And in order for him to come an integral part of Arsenal's attack, that's going to just take a little bit of time. So Calafiori, I think he's important to Arsenal's attack, but it was a mixed bag. He was actually my player of the game, Calafiori, but it's a mixed bag. You know, he has always thought of himself as a striker. He makes those kind of runs that gets a lot of people excited and fills the box and really does what a lot of the other midfield should do. Most of our problems is that we don't have enough men in the box, the influence in the play. So Saka would cross the ball in, there's just no one's on the end of it. Or Odegaard's moving forward and there's just a lack of movement, which happened a lot yesterday. And Calafiori really helps with that. And I think he runs into the midfield, it kind of further helps what we want to do. The only problem with that, as I said, double-edged sword, is that it leaves you exposed in the left-back position. So this is a situation where your left-back is so far up the field that you now have to be playing with two centre-backs. And then if three guys are running on you, which actually, if you look at Casemiro, I think he's been smart, because he's releasing that ball quickly as soon as Odegaard or anyone else loses possession. And then you're under pressure because you've got Embremo with tons of space running in the space where Calafiori should be. And I think that's where Lewis Skelly wouldn't make that mistake. Lewis Skelly doesn't get forward a lot because, you know, he thinks defense first. So he kind of is always on the lookout that you're not going to get caught out in a situation like that. And I think when Lewis Skelly came on, you could see that United really didn't have anything that on their right-hand side with Embremo. Embremo came more centrally. But that is the only issue that you've got with Calafiori going forward in his style of play, is that you are going to be susceptible to holes in your back line. And that's it, isn't it? When you press high up front and you have an inverted left back, that's the give and take. The give and take is that you're going to be asked questions at the back where you're going to get exposed if a team breaks on you. And United knew that. And Casemiro played it well, and they had their chances. That's where most of their chances came, from just hitting the ball quick when we were playing high up the pitch. And that's really on us. And Arteta's got to manage that. But I think Arteta would be pleased that he's got off to a winning start. There's a lot for him to work on in the next game, that's for sure. But I think, again, going back to Gyökeres as well, I don't think you guys have got anything to worry about in regards to Gyökeres. I think, you know, he's a versatile player, a ball progressing striker, known for his dribbling, passing, ability to hold on to the ball. And we didn't really see that well because a lot of the balls were shot to him up in the air. So he had to fight for duels and then kind of like really fight for possession. But, you know, there are things that I liked that were positive with him. I like the physicality. We saw his strength, allowing him to hold off defenders, sometimes 2 or 3. He was battling the ball on. When he won possession, shrugging them off, referee blew for a free kick against us. So I thought that was all wrong. I thought the ref had a horrible game yesterday. You can see as well the way he plays as a traditional striker, the way he drifts out and contributes in link play. So there were some good signs that we saw from him yesterday. Some of the things that I didn't like from Gyökeres was his first touch. I thought there was 2 or 3 occasions where I thought his first touch was inconsistent and got him into a bit of trouble. One where he completely lost the ball, left behind him as he was going to move into the box. Not really seen that from him before. And maybe that is nerves. I don't know. But you can see he was struggling to control the ball in tight spaces yesterday. And we also didn't see the pace and dribbling. Yeah. That is something which is a part of his forte, you know, allowing him to drive past defenders in tight spaces and create opportunities. You didn't see that yesterday. And you didn't see that because maybe he was too far forward. If he drops back a little bit like Havertz does, then you can get the ball early in the build-up play and allow to become a part of the progression of the football. But we kind of saw more of an out-and-out version of Gyökeres. And again, that will be something that they will work on. Yeah, that will be something that they will work on big time. So you've got all of that to kind of see. And guys, look, he's an active player. He's intelligent. He uses his speed and strength, to disrupt opponents' play. And we'll see those things. Those things will come. I think yesterday, again, in terms of playing in the system, a lot of the things was kind of new to him. You look at a lot of the success he had at Sporting Lisbon, where the ball was just lumped up to him and he himself was kind of making things happen. Here, you're playing team football. So he's going to have to integrate himself into that. So he'll be fine, guys. He'll be fine. Going back to read some of you guys' comments, King said, I don't get the backlash online. It wasn't because we expected, but it's 3 points. Arteta just needs to adjust to Gyökeres. Yep, exactly what I said. Prince, shout out to you. He goes, when it's the other way around, they say Arsenal are not a champion material because champions know how to win and they don't play well. Agreed. Win when you're ugly, innit? And he goes, when they win without playing well, they get criticized. And that's, you live and die by that. That's a little bit of the community, innit? And it's half and half. Half of them are saying, yeah, it wasn't good, blah, blah, blah. And the other half are saying what you guys are saying, that, it was a tough game. Imagine your first game of the season going to Old Trafford, which is never an easy place to go to begin with. And they've overhauled the team. Like, people talking about Man United like their last year's team. With that strike force they got, they're going to give people a game. And Amarin's on it now. You could see parts of last season where United kind of felt defeated. He felt defeated. He said some words, didn't he? Which I think, by all accounts, he would love to take back now, where, he's like, I'm just not on it. This is I didn't expect it to be this hard. Things like that he probably shouldn't have said. But I think with all due respect to him, he's hungry now. Like, they're on it. They're going to be playing to win. Shout out to D. Big shout out to you, bro. He says, salute, Apollo. It's a good thing this show is called Nightcap because I'm having a drink now and still really frustrated by the performance. Yeah, but don't be frustrated by the result, bro. We won. So that's good. It's a good thing. Big up socials. Socials are saying, if I can see it here, he ain't anywhere close to fitness. Yeah, I agree. That's the one thing that I was talking about. He's not close to fitness, and that much is going to be improved on as the season goes on. It said he made about 5 or 6 excellent runs. Odegaard never found him. Yeah, that's another thing as well. Yeah, and that's on us. That's what we've been poor of, because we're not used to guys making those runs. We don't have that commitment up front by our front line. It hasn't been there since Aubameyang. So it's kind of strange now that you're having to play to the fact that this guy's going to run beyond the back line. He's gonna make the centre backs have to work for their space, earn their keep, and we've got to be on that. And I think it's not just Odegaard as well. It's Zumbamendi. We saw in preseason, didn't we, where Zumbamendi was starting to find him. And look, guys, before I answer these things, Kevin De Bruyne, Haaland works because I agree. First thing we did when he got the ball was put his head up and look for Haaland, And Social says, what system? Yesterday, what the hell was Rice instructed to do? Yeah, I still don't know. I talked about it in the player rounds. I have no idea. And did you see them interlink? Zumbamendi and Rice switched from the 8 to the 6 about 4 times. I was like, what's going on there? And I was a little bit annoyed because you brought Zumbamendi in to replace Thomas Partey at the 6, play him at the damn 6. Yeah? And then Declan Rice has been elite and improving on his numbers. First year, 7 goals, 8 assists. Last season, 9 goals, 10 assists. That's your number 8. Like he's incrementally improving every year. So why have you now taken him out and moved him? That don't make sense. I don't get why they did that. Maybe against Leeds we'll see something different. But I think Arteta, to me, that looked like preseason. And the socials, it's good that you've said that, because for me, guys, part of the thing that I want to say, which I said actually against Atletico in preseason, is the midfield of Odegaard, Rice, and Zumbamendi. We only had like 39 minutes together in preseason. That's not enough. That's not enough. And I think that that's part of the reason why we're showing some struggles now, because you want to hit the ground running. You want that midfield to be your key component, your cog in the machine, the brainchild that drives the team forward. And they looked lost yesterday because, quite frankly, I don't think they played enough. And, whether that was because of the way how preseason was set up and Gyökeres, although it's got nothing to do with him, just the fact that they were getting rested for certain times, and 45 minutes it was switching in, switching out, and maybe Arteta wanted to keep that balance of which 11 could play well and had balance versus the other 11 that came on in the second half. So I was a bit confused by that, but what I will say is they just haven't played enough. So, we ain't got long to fix it. We ain't. We've got Liverpool in week 3. So you better get it sorted next week in training. That's what they're going to be working on. So really, that is kind of your go-to. There's a lot of work now to feature this week. And that's kind of where it is. Yeah, that's kind of where it is. So Nay, good of you to join us. This is Nightcap, Nay. So I'm only here with you for 20 odd minutes. It's already gone 21 minutes, so I'm not here for long. It's just really to talk about the game and kind of put my thoughts behind it. But look, as I said, guys, we always struggle at Old Trafford. Yeah. So I didn't really expect a great performance, but I expected 3 points, and that's exactly what we got. Winning at Old Trafford is always a challenge. That's a reality. But I accept the win, although we played poorly. Yeah, it's 3 points. That's all that matters. But I will say, I'll hold my hand up and say United were the better team. Yeah, I have to, guys. And I can see them having a good season. Yeah. Everyone quote me if I'm wrong. Come back to me and said, Apollo, you said that they were going to be a decent team. So, and I think United are going to be a decent team. The big question for Man United, though, and this is to you, Garfield, in the chat, is how are you going to react when you win and you don't play well? Yeah? Or can you win when you don't play well, I think is more the question. Because yesterday I thought, you did your game planning was good. Your guys up front was good. Casemiro was reacting to our poor ball possession. What happens when you play a Fulham? Yeah. What happens when you play a Bournemouth or a Brighton? Yeah. Or Crystal Palace? That's going to be telling in terms of what you guys do. Because look, if you're front three shy nation, Nay says, yeah, a win is a win. Happy for the 3 points. Yeah. And that's really what we should be coming out with. Hold your hand up, say we weren't great, but we got the 3 points, and you move on to the next one. D says results only make sense, Apollo, if in May when the team lists major. Yeah, and we all know that. There's nobody here or in the fan base that wants second place. That's not who we are. Yeah. Arsenal are not playing for second place. We have no intention of doing that. And everybody wants to win. And that's the forte. Yeah. So, guys, just want to look at... I had this thing on the forum yesterday. I want to show you guys something. I said, use the title of a song to describe Arsenal's victory against Manchester United. Randolph says, Ninja Man Dead Blood Card. I said, Blondie Heart of Glass. And a couple of you guys were saying that was a bit harsh. Elliot said, on to the next one, Jay-Z. That's good. I like that one. James coming in with North London Forever. Yeah. I'm surprised, actually, that we didn't see that first. Gary's talking about De La Soul, 3 is a magic number. Yep. Nabil just gets better with time. JT saying, you got to pick a pocket or two from Oliver 1968. Ebony says Thriller. Prince says Dead Body Go Surplus by Casey, that is. Calvin says, say you're my number one. Say you're my number one. Oh, one. Okay, one goal. All right, I get it. D says The Score, which is the Fugees. Yeah, I like that. Gary coming in, got 99 problems, but winning at Old Trafford 8-1. Judy says, get lucky, Daft Punk. 1-0 to the Arsenal is actually a song, guys. So well done to Manic and C for pointing that out. Dave is saying, go west by the Pet Shop Boys. We're getting everything in here. Nay has actually gone, Maze, we are one. Yep, I like that. I like that. I like that. And Brandon saying, Dutty song. What's Dutty song got to do with a 1-0? Yeah, some of them guys are going mad, you know. Some of them guys are on some mad thing. Socials. Socials saying, I don't know about United, but they did up their game. Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. No, I think they're relatively a good team. D's saying, Apollo, have you seen the images online where Gyökeres is in an excellent position? Yeah, I have. And again, we have to talk about that. There was 4 or 5 occasions where we broke, looked dangerous, and did nothing with the ball. 2 of those occasions, Martinelli didn't make the correct run. And you can see the frustration in Odegaard. So that's on Martinelli. But where Odegaard has to take the onus is you didn't do anything in the ball. And not that didn't you do anything, but in situations like that, you've got to think quick. You've got to hit quick as well. And the longer you take, the quicker and more the defense get in line. They get their feet set, they get their shape, they get the formation, then it's difficult to break them down. So the whole point of a counter is to catch teams off balance, off the back foot. So if you wait too long, then it's pointless. So again, that's going to be a coaching issue. Arteta's going to have to drill that into them in midweek and say, guys, we cannot do this. When we're on the break and it's 2 against 3, 3 against 3, or whatever the numbers is, you got to hit it quickly. Don't wait and sit back, and then before you blink your eye, the whole defense is got back there into shape, and then they've got 10 men behind the ball again. So that serves no use. Yeah. Michael said his song was Mama Said Knock You Out. Yeah. We knocked them out because look, United fans are not going to be feeling good about that. They're not. Let's face it, they're not. D says if he was right-footed, a master creator like Cecil Ozil, Gyökeres would easy. No, but he is a master creator. That's what I'm saying. Bro, D, let me see if I can find this thing. Hold on a second. Where are we? Let's go to Arsenal. Let me see if I can find the Martin Odegaard numbers. I know I've got them because I've kept them for a while. You know what? I bet I've deleted it. I've tried to clean house because I got so much stuff on my hard drive. So yeah, I do try to cleanse, especially in a new season. So it looks like I probably have. Let me just go to Premier League folder and see if I've got it there. Yeah, I have. All right, yeah, I have. Okay, so let's put this up. Yeah, and this is what I mean, guys. Let's blow this up. Let's blow this up here. And let's add it to the stream. Add to the stream. Right here, guys, right? So this is the thing, D, right? This guy, Martin Odegaard, is the best creator, number 10 in Europe by a mile out of all the top 7 leagues. I like where they say top 7 instead of top 5 because it includes the Portugal league, right? You can see here, Martin Odegaard, 88 chances created in open play. The nearest player underneath him is Bruno Fernandes, who's got 13 less. Like, that's a massive gap. So Odegaard, in terms of his creation and chances, is high by a long way. It's not even close. Now, you look at the numbers behind him, 75, 70, 69, 68. They're all close. They're all bunched up. But the gap Odegaard has at the top, like there's no one even close to him in terms of creating, chances created or anything like that. There just isn't. Yeah. And that's the thing that I've always said to you guys about who he is as a player. It's just one of the things that Arsenal fans, regardless whether he's sharp and he doesn't score goals or he does, in terms of his form, like last season was a bad season and we all expect the best for him. And we all expect him to come back strong this season. That is because he's so good at what he does. Let me get this out there and do the tail of the tape before I come out, yeah? I know you guys are still chatting. Yeah, D just said he's not, but I've just shown you that. Numbers don't lie, bro. You know what Jay-Z says? Men lie, women lie, but the numbers don't? Yeah, that chart just showed you. It's not even close who's number 2. in terms of the best number 10. So match statistic, guys. Let me just take off the comments here as well. Yeah, and this is the reason why I said United on the day. I thought they were the better team. 7 shots on target, 22 against 9 against us. 8 block shots. That shows defensively they blocked 8 Arsenal shots. Yeah, 61% possession. They had about 40% more passes than we did. They had nearly double their completed passes. So I think Arsenal, when they scored the goal, they just sat back and said, look, we're the best defense in the Premier League. You come at us. And then we'll try and play you on the counter. That's kind of how that worked out. And you can see, again, the numbers just are what the numbers are. D is saying the numbers are signed Havertz. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Correct. And that shows the ability, the fact that he is the best. And actually, the year before that, when he joined for the first year, he was still the best chances created. And there's a stat, D. This is crazy. There's a stat out there. It's on Twitter. I'll probably try and dig it up for you on the next stream. That when Odegaard was out for 3 months, that he had created so much chances in the first 10 games that by the time he came back after the 22nd game in those 12 games, he was still leading the league in chances created. That's how far he was ahead of everybody creating chances, that the guy missed 12 games after 3 months and still came back and had more created chances than anyone in the league. So that's just crazy. Like, those levels are just crazy. So guys, like, that's it. Half an hour just reviewing the game. Thank you guys for turning up. If you want me to keep doing this Nightcap on a Monday after the game, let me know and I'll make it a thing. Yeah, where we can just chat about the game, kind of review it a little bit, what worked, what didn't work. And as I said, the whole thing for me is, in terms of the changes with Ben White and Calafiori, is we've got 2 guys there that can probably start on any other team. Yeah, even if you look at Liverpool and City, Calafiori and Ben White would get into those teams. They'll get into any team in the league. And yet those guys are backups for us. But I think we need to tread carefully. I like the fact that they started because they're not first choice. And you can see that yesterday. Ben White hasn't been 100% fit for a while. But when you're talking about raw pace, he got whipped yesterday and actually came off because of that run. I think it was a 40-yard run where he just got slashed. He just got beaten. And that won't happen to Timber. Yeah, Timber ain't going to get outrun by a man like that. And then on the other side, Calafiori is inverted, which is such a progressive player. But, he's too far forward. So a guy in the midfield like Casemiro, an intelligent midfielder, is going to know that once you win the ball back and you get the pivot guy gets the ball, you're going to hit your winger. You're going to hit wide because there's no defender there at left back. And you're going to talk about that in the dressing room. You're going to say, guys, if we get possession back in our half quickly while their left back is up in the penalty area, we got hit you far. I want to see you sprinting. Make that sprint run. Yeah, because that's where we can get Arsenal. So there's a key for saying the strengths of Miles Lewis-Skelly, because Miles ain't getting beat like that. Yeah, Nay's saying yes, please. I will try and be on. Yeah, no problem. Okay, Nightcap is a thing, man. Nightcap is a thing. So just saying, I don't get why everyone creates in 5-1 passes. Our chance creation has to be rocket science. Yeah, and I think that that overcomplication is something that they're trying to. That's our identity, though, right? Possession. The longer we have the ball, the less the other team has the ball, which means the less chance they score, right? That's the physics behind it. That's the analytics behind it. Yeah, the more we have the ball, the less chance the other team's got to score. But at the same time, you got to be smart and intelligent in those situations. And we just bummed out. Saka weren't good at all. Martinelli wasn't good at all. And this is why Trossard's been preferred for him, because Trossard has his faults. But when you're breaking like that on a counter, Trossard ain't making them dumb foolery mistakes that we saw yesterday from Martinelli. He's going to find position to receive the ball from Odegaard because that's who he is. He's a very intelligent player around the box. And And one has to ask, you know, I mean, I know Madueke came on. I didn't think Madueke played well. I'm a big fan of his, but I didn't think he played well. He missed a sure hit on, he missed an open goal in the 92nd minute when Saka beat two guys on the left and crossed that ball in. That ball should have been in the back of the net. That should have been game over. And he fluffed it. And then he got beaten by Ahmed twice badly on the back end. Like, so his defensive work is atrocious. It's not good, guys. And Martinelli never gets beaten like that. Martinelli, if there's one thing you got to say about Martinelli, guys, put your hand up. Martinelli can defend. Yeah, so you got to give him that. You got to give him that. But for what we saw yesterday, Madueke, man, that was not. If you're talking about coming in and impacting the game, that's not how you want to do it. So look, everybody's got to put their hand up. Everyone's got to put their hand up. D saying we need to sign. Yeah, you know what? And I spoke to you guys about that in the stream. The problem with Eze, and this is what I've been told directly. The problem with Eze is if he comes in, bang goes your development with Ethan Nwaneri. That's the problem. And then you can make a case for Max Dowman, although Max Dowman, he can play central. I mean, he's on number 10, right? That's normally his position for the academy. But we've seen him come on the right. But the problem is, and this is the issue, D, and I want you to answer this because this is the issue. Lord Miko, that's signed off long time ago. Mid down 37 minutes now. This was supposed to be a 20, 30-minute nightcap. I think the problem that they've got is how are you going to develop Nwaneri and Dowman if Eze's in the team? That's the problem. They're having these conversations as we speak. And so I can understand where you live in a world where you don't buy him. You know, we've had 3 meetings with their agents. Release clause gone now. That's gone. And we ain't come in. So that's definitely the play there. The play is, are we going to develop our Max Dowman? Because you know what? If you play Max Dowman and he plays like he did in preseason, who cares about Eze? Seriously. When Max Dowman comes on, he looks like the de facto guy in that team. Like, he's getting it done. He's doing stuff like that none of the other players are doing. He's just the directness, the ability to beat a man, the first touch, the trickery. He's got it all, bro. He is the full package. I'm not going to, there's no hiding how good this guy is. So I think that's where we are. Yeah. Socials is saying, what development? 5 years, Ethan 23, Eze 32. Yeah, I think it's more about both of them, Socials. It's more about Ethan and Max Dowman. Like, they both are playing in that central midfield or attacking right. Yeah. So that's kind of the key for me. At the moment, you've got 3 guys who can play on the left: Martinelli, Trossard, and Madueke. So if you want Eze in, he's going to come in as your guy. He can go left if he needs to, but as your number 10 facility guy, because that's where he does his best work. So yeah, that's where I am, guys. Listen, let me sign off because I'm nearing on 40 minutes now. I'm nearing on 40 minutes. But yeah, let's keep doing this, guys. Let's keep the conversation going. And then I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys. Love you like cook food. Nice one.